It is a sink or swim year for this Patriots rookie class. For a team that's had trouble drafting the last few years, that I shouldn't be breaking that news to anybody, this draft class has to hit. I count 6 players who are either starters or in like heavy rotational roles if they're not starting. And then 2 more that are right on the verge of that. So Will Campbell, I shouldn't explain that one. He's your starting left tackle. Travion Henderson, if he's not your starting running back, he's going to be playing third downs, 2-minute drill. Like, he's going to be on the field in key situations. He might be your biggest big play threat on offense. Jared Wilson looks like he's going to be your starting left guard. Craig Woodson, probably your starting strong safety after cutting Jabril Peppers. If he's not starting, he's going to be playing a lot. Definitely over 50% of the defensive snaps. And then you have Andy Borgalis as your starting kicker. Julian Ashby is your starting long snapper. On top of that, Kyle Williams. It's tough to gauge exactly where he is on the depth chart because he missed the last. Going back to Minnesota, right? He got hurt in that game, the Josh Dobbs hospital ball. I feel like they're probably going to start their base 11 will be either Booty, Diggs, and Pop or Mac Hollins, Diggs, and Pop. But Kyle Williams, I mean, third-round pick. He's going to work into the rotation as the year goes on. They need his speed. They need his ability after the catch. He's going to play a significant number of snaps for this team. It just might not start week 1. And then Marcus Bryant ideally won't play because he's your backup tackle, but he's your top backup tackle. He's definitely the top backup on the right side. And he might be the top backup on the left side. They still have Vidarian Lowe, but given the way this coaching staff has treated players who were brought here not under their watch.
Yeah, not a fan of Vidarian Lowe.
I would not be surprised if Marcus Bryant maybe has a shorter leash at left tackle, but I would not be surprised if he ends up the top backup left tackle if something happens to Will Campbell. So that's not a lot of depth beyond Campbell. Travion Henderson, like I said, one of few big play threats. I don't know what they're doing at left guard if Jared Wilson's not in there. Probably Ben Brown, but now what do you do at center if Garrett Bradbury doesn't work out? They don't have a ton of depth at safety after Craig Woodson. They don't seem to believe in Kyle Duggar. Del Pettis is a drop-off. And then obviously kicker and long snapper, like those are your guys. Mm-hmm. It's not just that all of these guys are going to be in significant roles. There's not much of a plan B behind them. So they need this draft class to hit, and they need it to hit right away. This is not Bill Belichick. We're going to ease the rookies in. We're going to have veterans in front of them. We'll kind of put more on their plate as the season goes on. No. Will Campbell, Travion Henderson, Jared Wilson, Craig Woodson, Andy Borgalis, Julian Ashby, and then Kyle Williams and Marcus Bryant. These guys are going to have to show up and play meaningful snaps from the jump.
Yeah, I mean, you hit on it when you said plan B, Barth. That's not just that these guys are plan A in a lot of situations. If they falter, what's plan B? I'm not sure they even know what plan B is.
For a lot of those guys, there really is not one.
Right. Look, Campbell, I feel good about Campbell being like a decent, serviceable starting left tackle. And I know maybe that's not good enough for you for the number 4 overall pick. I get it.
If he's Nate Solder, great. That's a starting caliber, set it and forget it left tackle. People ask me what's a good season for Will Campbell. I say we don't bring his name up. Like we will because we dig in deeper. A great season for Will Campbell. They don't utter his name once, 2 to 6. Right,
like the average person, like it doesn't really come out of the game talking much about Campbell.
We're just not noticing.
Exactly, but he goes without saying because he plays one of the most important positions on the team. It's been a big need for them for years.
And he's the 4th overall pick. Like that guy's expected to hit and start right away no matter what.
And I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. If your expectations are super high for him as the number 4 overall pick, I get it.
Yeah.
But if he could just be a serviceable, decent left tackle, that's a huge upgrade over what they had last year. And
massive.
If Drake May is as good as we want him to be, he should be able to, work with that. And he should be able to make up for him just being okay. And so I think that right there would be, a big upgrade from what they had last year. You said in the pre-show rundown, like, who's the most crucial rookie besides Will Campbell?
Yes.
So that's where I was sort of going.
That's what I was about to ask you.
Okay, good.
Good synergy.
So I jumped you there. I'm going Jared Wilson there because he's playing left guard, and I know that's not the most important position on the field, but he's going to be starting. He's probably going to be playing every snap. That's the plan. He can't. He's not ready. He can't figure it out. Like there's a chance that he's not ready because I don't think this was the plan for him coming into the year that he was going to be the starting left guard. I think they wanted to eventually develop him as the center. They came into camp with Cole Strange at left guard. He's obviously gone now. He's a bust. Garrett Bradbury at center had a terrible camp, but they're staying the course with him
for now.
And like that there's also the domino effect there. If Garrett Bradbury can't play, and if they decide that Jared Wilson is ready to play center, who do they put at left guard? Like maybe it's Caden Wallace, but that's a guy that came in here as a tackle last year, and they had to convert to left guard. And so, yeah, it's the domino effect. The plan B thing is a huge concern, especially on that offensive line. But the reason I go Jared Wilson over a guy like Kyle Williams or Travion Henderson is that I feel like they have enough at those other positions where they're not coming into the season saying, we have to get a lot out of Kyle Williams, especially at receiver.
Right.
With the experience they have there, they brought in Stephon Diggs. Mac Hollins looks like he has a rapport with Drake May. Kayshon Boutte has a rapport with Drake May. Pop Douglas is a slot receiver, so it's like I don't think they're looking like it would be different if they didn't bring in Stephon Diggs. I might be looking at Kyle Williams saying like they need him to hit the ground running.
Absolutely.
And at running back, like Travion Henderson had a great summer and looks like he could be a legit weapon for them. But they do still have Ramondre Stevenson, who I think is a good running back, and if he could just hold
Gibson,
and Gibson was good, was one of the few bright spots for the team last year. Gibson, and I think if Stevenson could just hold on to the ball, he's a good running back. And so, I feel like I look at those guys, and they don't absolutely have to get the most out of those guys as rookies because they have bodies there, they have depth there. Don't exactly have that on the offensive line. So there's a lot riding on Campbell and Wilson in particular.
So Jared Wilson's up there for me, most important rookie. I'm also going to say Craig Woodson for a lot of the same reasons you just said.
Yep.
They didn't necessarily have a starting left guard before Jared Wilson. Don't get me wrong, he had a good summer, but didn't he also kind of maybe end up in that position by default because nobody else claimed it, and he's been good, but you had Jabril Peppers. Yeah, I mean, they still have Kyle Duggar, but they're clearly cutting his role back. They are, Craig Woodson got elevated late in this process. I think they need, and he's going to be in kind of that crucial role on the defense, kind of in that cleanup role. I think he's important. One more that I think is really important that succeeds. This is maybe more narrative driven than anything else. No, this is important because they lost a lot of close games last year, but also you can't draft 2 kickers in 3 years. I don't want to say they're both busts because Chad Ryland's good in Arizona now, but you as a team can't miss on 2 kickers in 3 years, even if it was different people drafting them. Andy Borregales needs to be this team's kicker for years to come. He does. And I think he can be. I know he didn't have the best camp, but seeing him at Miami, he's got a big leg. I think he's a super confident kid. I'm excited to watch him. There's some pressure on him. You can't blow another kicker pick. You can't do it.
No, there's a lot of pressure on him because of that, for everything you just said. But in the draft, I know he was considered one of, if not the best prospect at the kicker position, but he wasn't like a blue chip can't miss.
No, this wasn't.
Guy.
So the year they took Chad Ryland, I think they took Chad Ryland higher than they wanted to because Jake Moody, who was considered this blue chip rare kicking prospect, the Niners took him in the top 100. And by the way, he's kind of been bad, but the Niners took him in the top 100. And the way it works with kickers is once the run starts, it starts. So you take Chad Ryland. We don't need to go back and revisit that pick, but Andy Borregales, and for a team that's going to play a lot of close games, I am going to make this X's and O's and not just narrative driven. You need your kicker in close games, and you can extend that to the long snapper and Julian Ashby. You need your kicker in close games. This team is going to have to win close games this year to get to that 9-10 win mark that some people have them at. So they're going to need Andy Borregales. And by the way, Parker Romo not on the practice squad. Mike Vrabel thanked him for everything, wished him well. It doesn't sound like he's coming back. So it's Andy Borregales' job.
Yeah, look, so there's obviously a lot of pressure on him just for throwing him right in there as a rookie. Ashby's another one, but what can we even say about the long snapper? Either snap the ball or don't. But again, to your point, it's sort of along the same lines as Campbell being a long snapper, 7th round pick. It's you just don't want to ever talk about the long snapper, right? You just hope you never have to worry about that. And I know that they could probably find another guy off the street to do the job if they have to, but you actually invested a draft pick in this guy in addition to Borregales. So those are 2 guys that do have to hit the ground running. You got to have a good kicking game because, like you said, these games are going to be close. There's probably going to be games where Drake May gets them into field goal position at the end of the game to whether to tie it at the end or maybe it's a tie game. He has a chance for a game-winning field goal. So there's going to be pressure on the rookie, and he could be in cold weather too, late in the year. I know he has a little bit of experience playing in cold weather, but not necessarily
Not a
consistently
ton
in New
Miami.
England.
Yeah, it doesn't get. I don't think there's too many snowflakes at Hard Rock Stadium.
No, I'm not saying in Miami, but he's played some
Right,
cold
in
weather
the
games.
ACC, yeah, coming up north, he's done that a little bit. We'll see. That's the one, like, you can't practice that. We'll just see it when we see it. So, Patriots rookie class, I think front and center this year. Drake May's story one, obviously. Is he the guy? Showed promise last year. Can he put it together? Can he continue to build? Story 1A, they're not getting to double-digit wins without the rookie class stepping up across the board. Do they get that? We will see.